Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRIENDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now. Let's talk about what's bubbling under the surface in the NFL, because there's a pretty intriguing rumor making waves that could have major implications for the Commanders. It involves the Baltimore Ravens, a team that's been fighting to stay competitive in the AFC North, but now appears to be eyeing a bold move that could shake up the entire NFC East and beyond. The buzz is that the Ravens are considering trading safety Kyle Hamilton to Washington, and if it happens, it could be one of the most significant defensive moves of the season. Sources are indicating that Baltimore, squeezed tight with just $2.8 million in cap space and juggling extensions for key players like Lamar Jackson, is looking at ways to free up some financial breathing room. One of the ways they see fit is by moving Hamilton, a player who's rapidly become one of the league's most promising safeties at just 24 years old. The Ravens could potentially send Hamilton to the Commanders in exchange for a second-round pick in 2026 and a third-round pick in 2027. This move would serve multiple purposes for Baltimore: easing cap pressure, acquiring future draft capital, and possibly bolstering their secondary with picks they can use to rebuild or retool. This potential trade has been echoed by notable NFL insiders like Adam Schefter, who tweeted out that the Ravens are sellers, aiming to offload some assets as early as November 4th, and ESPN's Jeremy Fowler pointed out the Ravens' surplus of versatility on defense, hinting at their willingness to shake things up. Interestingly, this isn't happening in isolation. The NFL is buzzing about a similar move last season involving Derwin James, which boosted the Chargers' defense significantly with an infusion of talent and extra picks. The Ravens seem to be aiming for a similar boost, especially after their recent struggles where they allowed 28 passing touchdowns this season, a number that's raising eyebrows among fans and analysts alike. Now, let's turn our attention to Hamilton himself. This guy is an absolute star in the making. An All-Pro at just 24, he's already showcasing elite-level reading skills and versatility that NFL teams dream about. His PFF grade for 2025 sits at a solid 87.9, ranking him third among safeties, and he's been producing impressive stats: 5 interceptions, 62 tackles, and even 4 sacks. What makes Hamilton so valuable is his coverage ability. He's allowed only 8 explosive plays in 2025, which is a minuscule 15% explosive rate, and he's been a zero-injury player this season, staying healthy and consistent. His ability to read the game and make plays is comparable to some of the best in the league, like Minkah Fitzpatrick, especially in terms of versatility and coverage grades. For the Commanders, landing Hamilton would be a game-changer. They've been searching for a reliable, versatile safety to stabilize what's been an inconsistent secondary. Washington's defense has struggled at times this season, especially against the pass, where they've allowed 240 yards per game, down from previous years, but still an area that needs improvement. With Hamilton, the Commanders would add a dynamic piece who could significantly elevate their secondary, projecting around plus 12 interceptions for the rest of the season and reducing aerial yards allowed by approximately 18%. This would be a huge boost, especially considering how much Washington values a strong secondary that can also pressure the quarterback with blitzes, something Hamilton excels at. Another aspect that makes this potential move so appealing for Washington is how Hamilton fits into their defensive culture under coordinator Jack Del Rio and head coach Ron Rivera. They've been emphasizing physicality, versatility, and aggressive play, and Hamilton's skill set aligns perfectly with that. His ability to cover, blitz, and play multiple roles on defense makes him a perfect fit for a team looking to redefine its identity on that side of the ball. Plus, bringing in a player like Hamilton, with his high football IQ and game-changing potential, could set a tone for the defense that resonates throughout the locker room. From a broader perspective, this trade could be a strategic move for the Commanders as they aim to push for the playoffs and make a real run. They've shown flashes of brilliance this season, but consistency has been an issue, especially in the secondary. Adding a player of Hamilton's caliber would not only improve their current roster, but also serve as a statement to the rest of the division that Washington is serious about competing and contending for a deep postseason run. The NFC East has become one of the most competitive divisions in recent years, with the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants all vying for supremacy. To stand out, the Commanders need to make bold moves, and acquiring a talent like Hamilton could be just that. Now, looking at the odds and the bigger picture, betting lines have shifted significantly if this trade were to happen. The Commanders' chances of making the playoffs, which were already promising, could see an uptick of around plus 16% versus teams that rely heavily on passing, such as the Cowboys. The NFC East is shaping up to be a battle of the defenses and strategic plays, and having a star safety like Hamilton on your roster could be the X factor that tips the scales in Washington's favor. It's not just about the immediate impact, it's about redefining their defensive identity and setting the stage for future success. But of course, there are skeptics. The Ravens, after all, are a tough team to deal with, especially with their recent history of making shrewd trades and their emphasis on building a strong, versatile defense. They might prefer to hold on to Hamilton and try to rebuild around him, especially since they're in the midst of a competitive season with a 7-2 record. Their cap situation, while tight, isn't impossible to navigate, and they might see Hamilton as a pillar for their future rather than a trade chip. Plus, they need the draft picks to rebuild their offensive line, much like the Steelers did in 2023, and that could influence their decision. For the Commanders, this move could be a defining moment, a chance to accelerate their rebuild and establish a new defensive standard. They've been patient with their development, but adding Hamilton would send a clear message that they're not just content with being a middling team. They want to contend now. It would be a statement to the division and the league that Washington is serious about winning and that they're willing to make bold, strategic moves to get there. In the grand scheme of things, if this trade goes through, it could very well redefine the NFC's landscape. The Commanders would get a player who can be a cornerstone for years to come, and the Ravens might be left scrambling for secondary options while trying to maximize their draft picks. It's the kind of move that could shift the balance of power within the division and even influence the playoff picture as we head into the final stretch of the season. So, what do you guys think? Is this trade too good to pass up for Washington? Would Hamilton be the missing piece that takes the Commanders from good to great? Or do the Ravens have other plans up their sleeve? Either way, this is shaping up to be one of the most interesting storylines of the season, and I'll be right here to keep you updated with all the latest. The NFL is always full of surprises, and this potential deal is no different. Keep your eyes peeled because things could heat up very soon and the Commanders might be at the center of it all. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think Hamilton is the right move for the team? Would you be willing to see some draft capital go out for such a talented safety? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team because at the end of the day, it's all about us supporting our guys and believing in the vision. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory. And with moves like this, the Commanders are definitely making their mark.